and welcome. I'm Brenda Randolph, chair of the Children's Africana Book Award Committee. You know, COVID interrupted our plans to celebrate the 2019 and 2020 award winners in person. So we are pleased to bring you this virtual ceremony that honors an outstanding group of authors and illustrators. We think their books exemplify literary excellence, deep research, and most importantly for the award, contribute to a better understanding of African people, societies, and issues. The Children's Africana Book Award was actually inspired by a child, a 7-year-old from Liberia, who asked for books that showed her classmates what Africa is really like. To address her concern, in 1991, my nonprofit Africa Access and the Outreach Council of the African Studies Association created the Children's Africana Book Award, or CABA as we call it for short. The award identifies, recognizes, and promotes accurate, authentic books about Africa for young people. Awards are presented in 3 categories: young children, older readers, and new adult. The latter recognizing books marketed to adults that are suitable for mature teens. The 2019 and 2020 award winners have created an amazing array of book genres: fantasies, sci-fi, picture books, folklore, and biographies. Book themes include colorism, enslavement, resistance, identity, grandparents, music, friendship, power, and belonging. There is a book for every child and for adults who have never abandoned the child inside them. Collectively, these books provide windows into all the major regions of Africa: West, East, Central, Southern, and North. A big thank you to the CABA Selection Committee members for their hard work reading and evaluating the nominated titles. Thank you also to the Center for African Studies at Howard University, the institutional base for CABA, the Outreach Council of the African Studies Association, and especially to the sponsors, partners, and friends of CABA who provide financial and promotional support. You can learn more about CABA by visiting cababooks.org. And now, Vanessa Oyugi from the Center for African Studies at Howard University will introduce you to our amazing hosts.
Thank you, Brenda. I am Vanessa Oyugi, the Assistant Outreach Director at the Center for African Studies at Howard University. We are so excited to have Howard University as the institutional base for the Children's Africana Book Awards. And I would like to introduce you to the other member of our Howard team, Anya Ueno, our media specialist.
Thank you, Vanessa. I have greatly enjoyed working to promote CABA. We have 2 hosts for our CABA ceremony today. I would like to begin with introducing my friend, Dr. Stella-Monica Mpande. Stella-Monica, Vanessa, and I were together at Howard University while they were completing their PhDs and I my master's. Stella-Monica is an award-winning, multifaceted business and media professional and critical cultural scholar. Her birth in Uganda and upbringing in Côte d'Ivoire prior to moving to the US inspired Stella-Monica's career as a multimedia entrepreneur. She focuses on African development, diasporic affairs, business ethics, diversity, and inclusion. Currently, she works at the World Bank Group. She also runs a nonprofit, Nalugwa Media, which features Africore, a docu-reality series and blog. Vanessa, would you please introduce Stella-Monica's co-host?
Yes, thank you, Anya. Our co-host is the one and only 11-year-old Salaam Williams, an amazing dancer and actress. She has performed with a number of groups, including the Kuombo Kids Company in Maryland and the Debbie Allen Dance Academy in LA. She loves to learn new styles of dancing, singing, and performance, and aims to become a professional actress.
Thank you, Mama Vanessa. Hi, all. I am Salaam, and I'm very excited to join you all. We're going to explore the rich African continent and some places in the African diaspora. Along the way, we'll meet incredible CABA authors and illustrators and hear their own stories.
Absolutely. That's right, Salaam. Greetings, everyone. I am Dr. Stella-Monica Mpande, and I am very honored to be here. Akwaba, bienvenue, Kulikayo, Enchanté, and more. Yes, together, you, me, Salaam, and all of us, we're going to go on an incredible trip, and we will honor amazing talent whom you will soon also hear from. A few of our impeccable CABA winning authors could not be here with us today. So on behalf of CABA, we applaud Trevor Noah, representing South Africa, for his impeccable work, Born a Crime, Sumaya Dawood for her book, Mirage, set in Morocco, and Tony Adeyemi for her book, Children of Blood and Bone. As we acknowledge the many, 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 many wonderful authors, illustrators, and publishers for their literary contributions, we will also sprinkle the evening with a few red carpet highlights to salute some of the creative geniuses and powerhouses who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes of this very important CABA initiative.
After all, without them, none of this magic today would be possible.
That is true. So with that said, our first guest at our CABA red carpet is none other than Dr. Fatima Barnes. As a committee member of CABA, she knows all the ins and outs behind the scenes that go into the organizing and decision-making process.
Hello, everyone. My name is Fatima Mncube, Sanibonani in the spirit of Ubuntu. This is a South African Zulu way of acknowledging your presence with a greeting of peace. I'm honored to say a few words as the executive director of one of the 3 libraries at Howard University, and also as one of the reviewers of the Children Africana Book Awards. I marvel at the magnificent work of Ms. Brenda Randolph and Dr. Vanessa Oyugi in their tireless effort of coordinating these awards in meaningful and engaging ways. Some of these endeavors include recognizing literary excellence and use of accurate, balanced children's materials about Africa in the K-12 curriculum. They also ensure the professional development of teachers and acknowledgement of outstanding authors and their illustrators. The first Children Africana Book Awards was presented 29 years ago. Can you believe that? Today, there are close to 100 winning titles. CABA titles expand and enrich African American perspective beyond stereotypical, historical, and exotic images that are emphasized in the West. Collectively, the CABA winners show that Africa is indeed a varied and multifaceted continent. As one of the CABA committee members, we have read and discussed over 50 titles in 3 years. Yes, that's the best hobby that I've ever had. I believe the Mwalimu teachers and their students will agree that CABA allowed us to learn about Africa and appreciate the author's knowledge and their book illustrators' talent in conveying their ideas and skillfully unpacking that information through illustrations. Wonderful illustrations and colorful too. You can read more about the African Studies Department at Howard, CABA initiatives, past and upcoming awards, and different levels of supporting CABA to sustain their goals and objectives on their website, which is africaaccessreview.org. Congratulations to all the recipients of the CABA Awards for 2021. Goodbye.
Thank you. But wait, before you go, where are you taking us?
Oh, that's a very good question. We're going on a vicarious trip to Southern Africa.
We have 3 winning books set in South Africa. And I am excited to bring Salaam. What's going on?
Look.
Oh, that is a beautiful photo. Who's in there? Who's that?
This is my grandpa and my great-grandpa. I'm trying to give you a hint for the next book.
Okay, got it. I got it. Grandpa, so you're probably thinking of Grandad Mandela, correct? Okay, so let's talk about Grandad Mandela. I have actually never been to South Africa, but I grew up learning a lot about Nelson Mandela. And with that said, I am super proud to present to you the book Grandad Mandela, authored by Ambassador Zinzi Mandela and her two grandchildren, Zazi and Ziwelene Mandela, illustrated by Sean Qualls and published by Quarto Publishing. In Grandad Mandela, a photograph of Nelson Mandela prompts his great-grandchildren to ask their grandmother, Zinzi, about his life. She tells them important facts about Nelson Mandela, but also how his imprisonment affected his family. Accepting an Honor Book Award for Grandad Mandela are Zazi and Ziwelene Mandela. Tragically, Ambassador Zinzi Mandela passed on the summer of COVID. We express our deepest sympathy to the Mandela family and thank Lindo Mandela, mother of Zazi and Ziwelene, who in their time of mourning arranged for the children to speak to us from South Africa. It is my pleasure to present the 2019 Honor Book for Young Children Award to Zazi and Ziwelene Mandela. Let us hear from these two winners.
Hello, we are the authors of Grandad Mandela.
My name is Ziwelene Mandela.
And my name is Zazi Mandela. We would first of all like to thank CABA for this award, as well as our mother, our father, and our grandmother, who unfortunately passed away last year. We'd also like to thank our grandmother and co-author Zinzi Mandela for taking her time and talking to us about her life as a child during apartheid. We wrote Grandad Mandela to explain to people, especially young kids, about apartheid, that it is okay to be different. You shouldn't judge other people just because they're different. We're happy that people acknowledge Grandad Mandela and the message. Even though our grandmother is not here to receive this award with us, I'm sure she'll be very grateful and happy, just like we are. Thank you.
And thank you too. All right, so next I am going to go ahead and present the next book. The next book being...
You know about the Easy Bongo?
Who, sorry?
The Easy Bongo.
No. What is Easy Bongo?
Easy Bongo is poetry used to praise and sometimes criticize someone, especially a king. Poets call Shaka the one whose fame spreads even when he is seated. I have always found the story of how Shaka built the Zulu nation so powerful.
That is so true. And I have also found his story powerful when I was learning about Shaka as a child. So indeed, Shaka Rising, Legend of the Warrior Prince, is a graphic novel created by Durban-born illustrator and writer Luke Mulver and published by Story Press Africa. This retelling of the Shaka legend explores the rise to power of a shrewd young prince who must overcome many, many challenges before he consolidates a new kingdom. It is my pleasure to present the 2019 Honor Book Award for Older Readers to Luke Mulver.
I want to learn more about King Shaka.
Hello, my name is Luke Mulver. I am the author and illustrator of Shaka Rising, A Legend of the Warrior Prince, published by Story Press Africa. It is a fantastic privilege to receive this award from the CABA as an honor book for older readers. Writing and art can sometimes be quite isolating pursuits, particularly in these strange times we find ourselves living in. So it really is a marvelous honor to receive such recognition for one's work on an international scale. King Shaka is one of the most well-known icons in South African history, but in many ways he is as much myth as he is man. this comic book is only one version of a story. There are many. Here I try and strike a balance between the fact and the folklore to pay respect to both the man, the human being, and the legend. I wrote Shaka Rising to work on several levels. Firstly, as an epic adventure to be enjoyed by all ages, but also as a tool for learning our history, for analyzing the way it's been recorded, and in some cases, deconstructing the ways in which we've been taught it. Thank you to Story Press Africa for giving me the opportunity to tell this important story, to the CABA for recognition of the work. It is truly an honor and a privilege to be amongst other writers and artists and storytellers of such high caliber. Thank you, and stay safe.
Oh, thank you. How awesome was that? So let's see what is next for us. I see a camera. I know where we're going with that. Salaam, did you know that a camera was critical in letting the world know about 14-year-old Hector Peterson, who was shot by South African police during a Soweto protest in 1976? Photographer Sam Nzima captured the iconic photo that shocked the world. Author-illustrator Adrienne Wright highlights this deadly moment in South African history in her book, Hector, A Boy, A Protest, and a Photograph That Changed Apartheid, published by Page Street Kids. With words and muted illustrations, Adrienne recreates Hector's world before he was brutally killed, the moment of his death, and the clever way photographer Sam Nzima thwarted the police and saved the photo that galvanized the world. Adrienne Wright grew up in South Africa and currently lives in the US. She won the Work of Outstanding Progress Award from the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators, SCBWI, for the manuscript that became Hector. She now wins a recognition for a CABA 2020 Best Book Award. I really appreciate how Adrienne writes about Hector, but this book is not just about Hector. In fact, let's hear directly from Adrienne about what she was thinking about when she was writing this book.
Hello, friends. It's such an honor to win the 2020 Children's Africana Book Award for my picture book, Hector, A Boy, A Protest, and the Photograph That Changed Apartheid. How thrilling it was to receive the news. The tragic photograph of Hector Peterson begged for his story to be told. In 1976, 12-year-old Hector was shot and killed in Soweto by South African police during a peaceful student march. Photojournalist Sam Nzima captured the now famous image of Hector, his sister Antoinette, and the gallant teenager carrying Hector, Mboyisa Makubu. I came across the photograph again about 8 years ago and began wondering about the people Hector left behind. I heard about the memorial and museum bearing Hector's name, but it's not just about Hector. It's dedicated to all those who came before him and after, working to end apartheid in South Africa. We don't know all their names, but Hector represents them all. Sam Nzima's iconic photograph made sure of that. I discovered that Antoinette worked at the museum. She and her mother, Mrs. Dorothy Malefi, were so gracious and patient in answering all my questions about their beloved son and brother, and I thank them profusely. And photographer Sam Nzima, he generously answered questions that helped me fill in some blanks for the story about Hector. Mostly, I'm indebted to him for allowing me to use his iconic photograph in the book. Sam died in 2018 while it was in production, so he never got to see the finished book. While I was working on the illustrations, in particular a spread featuring a crowd scene of marching students, another black boy was killed by police. This time in East Pittsburgh, United States. almost 42 years to the day after Hector's death, Antoine Rose died, I added his likeness to the already crowded field of young Black men and boys in my tribute to them. I'm immensely thankful to the team at my publishing house, Page Street Kids, especially my brilliant publisher, Kristen Nobles, editor Charlotte Wenger, and designer Malia Parslow, who helped me make this tribute to a life taken too soon. Many thanks and gratitude to my family for support, patience, and love while I made this book. And thank you sincerely to Brenda Randolph, Outreach Director at Howard University Center for African Studies, the Children's Africana Book Awards Committee, Africa Access, and the Outreach Council of the African Studies Association for recognizing Hector as an important story that needs to be shared. And lastly, thank you to all the readers and educators who support this book. Black Lives Matter.
Thank you. Our next red carpet moment introduces none other than Dr. Bai Cham. Dr. Cham has been engaged with CABA for some time, and he discusses his role and how he has seen CABA evolve.
Hello, everybody. My name is Bai Cham, professor at Howard University here, and it's really a pleasure to be with everybody here this evening, and even though it's virtually, I'm really glad to be part of this ceremony here. I think I've been a part of CABA since its inception in 1991. And 30 years of continuous existence and sustained excellence is really something to celebrate. And I really want to comment and thank Brenda and Vanessa and all of the team that over the years have worked diligently to bring CABA to what it is today. This is a really significant 30 years and counting. And we at Howard University are very honored and grateful to be the institutional home of CABA. And personally, also, I have been part of the board working alongside Brenda and all of the other wonderful people on the board. And the work that CABA has been doing over the years, again, is quite foundational, very important, actually, you know, in many respects. Identifying, celebrating, rewarding, and promoting children and young adult literature on various aspects of the African experience and the diasporic experiences from perspectives, you know, that really contribute to better understanding and more rounded descriptions and understandings of the diversity and the significance of African experiences. So I think CABA is really one of those must witness events in the annual cultural calendar, particularly here in the Washington, D.C. area where the ceremony takes place every year. And like all the other NRCs, you know, the Africa NRCs that support CABA have been supporting it over the years, we at Howard University, Center for African Studies at Howard University, also very proud and very happy to be a partner in this very important annual cultural event. And I want to, again, say congratulations to Brenda, Vanessa, and the whole CABA team, and wish you many, many, many more years of success. Again, as I said, 30 years and counting, and this is really something to embrace and celebrate. So thank you very much.
Thank you. You're right. It is absolutely something to embrace and celebrate. But now, though, where are we getting out to?
Now we're getting out to the eastern shores of Africa, to East Africa, where I'm sure they will say Karibu, Salama, and we say Habari Gani.
La la, what now, Salaam?
You know that there are 2 rainy seasons in Uganda, from March to May and from September to December. That's a lot of rain. Just a lot of rain.
That is a lot of rain.
Wait a minute. Weren't you born there, Dr. Mpande?
You're right. Yes, I was born in Uganda, Salaam. And I can certainly appreciate that the 2019 best book is Sing to the Moon, written by Nansubuga Nagaja Isdal, illustrated by Sandra Von Dorn, and published by Lantana. Sing to the Moon was inspired by the rainy days author Nansubuga spent in Uganda during her childhood with her beloved grandfather, Jaja, who loved books and told many, many stories. Author Nansubuga was born in Cambridge, Massachusetts, to Ugandan parents. Sing to the Moon is Nansu's second CABA winner. Sleep Well, Siba, and Saba received an honor book award in 2018. It is my pleasure to present the 2019 Best Book for Young Children Award to Nansubuga Isdal.
Hello, my name is Nansubuga Nagaria Isdal, and I am the author of Sing to the Moon. I'd like to start by thanking Africa Access and the Outreach Council of the African Studies Association for selecting Sing to the Moon as the best book for young children. I'd also like to thank the book's publisher, Lantana, and its illustrator, Sandra Van Dorn, for her ability to capture the essence of my story through her brilliant illustrations. So Sing to the Moon is a story about a young boy spending a rainy day with his grandfather. And I was inspired to write the book by time spent with my own family in Uganda, listening to stories in simple but love-rich settings. And I think part of the aim was to capture the beauty of simplicity and the extraordinary things that can happen in ordinary, everyday settings. I also wanted to pay tribute to my own grandfather, who was remarkable in many ways. And so I think, given the year that we've had collectively, I think we're in a moment of pause and reflection, and hopefully we've had a chance to listen to more of the stories around us, some of which are burning to be heard, others which are perhaps whispering softly. But nevertheless, I couldn't think of a better time to listen. And awards like this one, I think, are particularly important because they enable this to happen by enriching, both broadening and deepening the literary landscape so that we can all hear more stories. And so on that note, thank you again. I wish the committee, partners, and all of the other award winners a wonderful year ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Nansubuga. It is really great hearing from all of our amazing authors so far, and I'm really having a great time. Right, Salaam? How about you? Salaam? 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 Salaam, where are you? Gone to get chocolate? What, are you serious? Girl, we are about to present the next winner. Okay. Apparently, when chocolate calls, you must get chocolate. Well, on that note, the next award is our 2020 Honor Book for Young Children Award, which goes to Lupita Nyong'o and Vashti Harrison for Sulwe, published by Simon & Schuster. Academy Award winner Lupita Nyong'o's first children's book, Sulwe, depicts a young girl's journey to self-acceptance and self-love. On a magical journey into the cosmos, Sulwe discovers her unique beauty mirrored in the star-studded night sky. Lupita Nyong'o is a Kenyan-Mexican actress and producer. Her first feature film role was in 12 Years a Slave, for which she received the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, as well as multiple accolades, including the Screen Actors Guild Award, the Critics' Choice Award, the Independent Spirit Award, and the NAACP Award. She has also starred in Queen of Katwe, Star Wars, and Black Panther. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present Lupita Nyong'o. Lupita, over to you.
I want to say a big thank you to the Africana Book Award Committee for choosing Sulwe as an honor title this year. It means a lot to me that you thought to recognize her, especially you, because this is an award that has been created to help with the balanced and varied representation of Africans in their societies. And Sulwe, for me, came out of a dearth or a lack in my own growing up, where I was surrounded by people that looked like me, surrounded by dark complexion, and yet all the arenas of imagination were populated by pale skin. I'm talking TV, movies, books, magazines. I only saw really mainly white skin. And what that did is that it didn't allow for me to occupy my own imagination or my own dreams for what is possible in this world. I remember in kindergarten, I was asked to draw my family, and I drew my family and colored them in with pale skin because I thought that only pale skin should exist in art. That was a misconception, but it came from only being allowed to engage with light skin in artistic expression. What that led to is a lot of self-confidence issues, insecurities, self-doubt. And I got over it, indeed, and came to love myself. And what I wanted to do with that love that I had found through my life experience is create a book like Sulwe that can offer young kids a chance to find themselves in their imagination that much sooner. My dream was for kids to be able to see themselves in her, dark-skinned kids to be able to see themselves in her and to realize that they too have a right to an imagination, and they too have a right to dream and dream big and to imagine a world that doesn't yet exist, but one that they can make and influence to exist. And so Sulwe was born out of that experience, and it has been a joy like no other to encounter people, children who have met her and who relate to her, both dark-skinned individuals, but also light-skinned kids who are able to relate to being different, or they are able to empathize with the darker complected children in their lives. That this book encourages empathy is something that has been really just heartwarming for me. And so what you have done by recognizing it in this way, I think, is to ensure that Sulwe lives that much longer and hopefully touches that many more children with the message of the book. And so for joining me in this quest to bolster the confidence of young kids, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. God bless.
And so coming up next is our red carpet moment, this time with Miss Harriet Maguire, Vice President of Africa Access. She speaks about the importance of books published across Africa and her role in introducing them to CABA for recognition.
Hello, my name's Harriet Maguire, and I'm thrilled to be part of this CABA red carpet for this year's winners. I became involved with CABA and Brenda Randolph and Africa Access in 2002. I was about to retire from the U.S. Foreign Service and wanted a way to stay in touch with Africa, where I'd spent most of my career. And especially the last part of my career, I got involved with African publishers through the African Book Collective. So when I found out about the CABA Book Awards, I thought this will be a wonderful opportunity to try and bring more African books to US markets. And it has indeed worked out that way. The first time we tried to have African publishers submit for the CABA Awards, it was a very complicated process. The publishers had to pay to have DHL shipments to the US for us to distribute the books to the judges, and that was very expensive. And it was very hard to have the winners accessible to US bookstores that wanted to stock the books and sell them to libraries and parents and schools throughout the US. But through the African Book Collective, a group of almost 200 publishers now in Africa, they had a central point that could handle all the US sales and stocking, and they became our partner for working with African publishers. And over the last 17 years, their operation has improved so much that they now print the books from Africa on demand in the US and can get submissions to our judges within a week. In fact, they're faster than most US publishers. So it's been wonderful to be part of this rapid evolution. And we've enjoyed seeing so many wonderful children's books from African publishers get recognition and win prizes and find a lot of acclaim in the US. And it's been very rewarding working that way. We've even tried to see how we could support better distribution of these prize-winning books in their home countries and throughout Africa. That's still a work in progress, but something we're looking forward to developing in the future. So I want to extend my congratulations to everyone who's gained an award this year, and look forward to working with the program for many years to come. Thank you.
Okay, so where are we going to next?
I'd like to take you to West Africa. Follow me.
What you got over there?
Chocolate?
Really, Salaam? Really?
Oh,
Chocolate?
sorry. It's just too good. Me. Don't you wish you had some, Dr. Mpande?
Yeah. I wish I had some, but you know what? I don't do chocolate. Girl, I do tea. Mm-hmm. I sure do. But you know where all that chocolate you're eating is coming from?
In fact, I do. It comes from Côte d'Ivoire.
There you go. You nailed it. It sure does come from Côte d'Ivoire.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Now what?
Didn't you grow up in Côte d'Ivoire, Dr. Mpande?
Yes, you are all about it, girl. Yes, I did. I sure grew up in Côte d'Ivoire. And that is why I am so excited about our upcoming book, Grandpa Cacao, A Tale of Chocolate from Farm to Family, published by Bloomsbury, which is set in the US and in Côte d'Ivoire. In fact, it is the first book that Elizabeth Zunon has both authored and illustrated. The story connects past and present as a girl bakes a chocolate cake with her father and learns about her grandfather harvesting cacao beans in West Africa. Elizabeth Zunon has illustrated more than 15 books, including the books of other CABA winners. Amazing. The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind and One Plastic Bag. She grew up in her father's home country of Côte d'Ivoire until the age of 12, when the family moved to her mother's home in upstate New York. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present the 2020 Honor Book Award for Young Children to author and illustrator Elizabeth Zunon. Elizabeth, tell us why this book is so personal to you.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Zunon, author and illustrator of Grandpa Cacao, A Tale of Chocolate from Farm to Family. This book was published by Bloomsbury Books in 2019. I'd like to first thank the CABA Committee, Africa Access, and the Outreach Council of the African Studies Association for this honor. This is the first book for which I'm the author and the illustrator. This is a love letter to the grandfather that I never knew. He was a cacao farmer in Côte d'Ivoire, West Africa, which is where I grew up. But I lived in a big bustling city. I never experienced village life or farm life like my father did. And the older that I got, the more my father has shared stories with me of his childhood growing up with his parents on a cacao farm. So my whole entire family loves chocolate. We always have chocolate and coffee in the house, wherever we're living. And I wanted to create a book that would honor my family's love of chocolate and also my family's history of farming coffee and cacao, especially cacao. So in this book, a little girl and her dad bake a chocolate cake together. And as they add the different ingredients of their chocolate cake into their bowl, they learn about a different step that Grandpa did back on the farm in Côte d'Ivoire to prepare the cacao fruits for harvesting, cutting them up off of the trees, cutting them open, scooping out the beans, fermenting the beans, laying the beans out under the sun to dry, bagging up the beans into big burlap sacks and selling them to chocolate buyers. I wanted to show young kids in the United States that the foods that they might take for granted actually come from very specific places and have a lot of work and blood, sweat, and tears that go into creating them. I always took chocolate for granted as a child, and I think a lot of young kids would be interested to know what life is like on a cacao farm far, far, far away. So I hope that this book is inspiring for you to learn about where maybe one of your favorite foods comes from. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was so great. Wasn't that fantastic? That was absolutely great. What are you doing there, Salaam?
Well, did you know that jump impacts wildlife in many ways? And it forces them to travel far and wide to find food and water. And I don't want my stuffed animal to travel far and wide to find food and water when I have food and water. So I want to give it water.
Okay, I get it. And you know what? That's exactly what the story is about in Animal Village, written by and illustrated also by Nelda Latif and published by Sub-Saharan publishers located in Accra, Ghana. Animal Village has a lot of inspiration behind it and from it. Our talented author and illustrator, Nelda, wrote Animal Village because she was inspired by a story that she heard from a blind griot in a Zarma community on the outskirts of Niamey, the capital city of the Republic of Niger, or Niger. The book holds an inspirational mantle for all politicians and for young girls like you, Salaam, who aspire to be leaders. Animal Village is the second children's book of this award-winning author and illustrator. So on behalf of the Children's Africana Book Awards Committee, it is my pleasure to present the 2019 Honor Book Award for Young Children to Nelda Latif. Let's hear her aspirations for the book.
Hello, my name is Nelda Latif. I am the author and the illustrator of the children's picture book, Animal Village, published by Sub-Saharan publishers. The threads of the story come from West African oral tradition, specifically from the Zarma people of the Republic of Niger, who are the descendants of the fabled Zarma-Sangye Empire that extended over much of West Africa from the early 15th to the late 16th century. I am delighted that Animal Village has been named a Children's Africana Book Awards winner. Nothing gives me greater pleasure than introducing children to the diversity that is Africa. I think culturally sensitive stories have a transformative power, and I hope my book will evoke a love of reading and a desire to learn more about Africa into the hearts of children. The story's message is what is important is not size or strength, but rather qualities such as curiosity, perseverance, and generosity of spirit. In this particular day and age, I hope children will also appreciate the smooth transition of leadership that takes place at the end of Animal Village, where the lion chief acknowledges the tortoise's contribution to the survival of the village, and without fuss or rancor, hands over the chieftainship to the tortoise. I would like to thank Brenda Randolph, Outreach Director and Chair of CABA, and the Africa Access Team, as well as the Outreach Council of the African Studies Association, for this honor. Brenda is a hero to all of us authors and illustrators who aspire to do the vast continent of Africa justice through our words and our art. Thank you, Brenda, for continuing to showcase our books with this annual event, now in its 28th year, and what's more, pulling it off virtually in these COVID pandemic times. Also, congratulations to my fellow CABA winners and honorees. I have read many of your books, and I am honored to be in such stellar company. I want to thank and congratulate my extraordinary publisher, Akos Afori-Mensah, founder of Sub-Saharan Publishers, who is a trailblazer in children's book publishing in Africa, not only for having one, but 2 books honored at this time by CABA. She also just recently published my latest book, The Talking Baobab Tree. I am grateful that Animal Village has received this honor to preserve and keep alive the story delivered from African folklore for future generations. It is noteworthy that my story, which is set in sub-Saharan Africa, highlights the devastation wrought by drought, and that the solution comes from received knowledge in the form of an old story passed down from generation to generation. As descendants of the Sangye Empire, the Zarma have a rich oral tradition, which is captured in the saying, "One who hears something good must pass it on." I am honored to do so, and I am pleased that Animal Village thus far has been translated into French and Spanish, and I understand that it will soon be published in several African languages. I will end with a quote from my main character, Timba, the tortoise, whose song appears as a steady refrain throughout Animal Village. "The moon moves slowly, but it crosses the sky. Everything is possible by and by." Thank you.
And thank you. Wow, that was really, really, really great. All right, Salaam, where are we going to? Oh, that is beautiful, my dear. Look at that. It's a beautiful cloth.
Is it like the one in the book?
Oh, you're talking about Ruby Goka's book. Yes. You know what? Reminds me of it. Sure does. Ruby Goka, author of Mama's Amazing Cover Cloth, and illustrator Edmund Opare, share with us the story of a little girl like you who is enthralled by the various intricate ways that her mama wraps a cover cloth, from everyday use to a superhero cape. A feast for the eyes. Each page of this picture book is adorned with vibrant colors shown off by the patterns printed on different color cloths. Indeed, Ruby showcases the glory of the cover cloth both in aesthetics and everyday usage in a proud nod to her Ghanaian heritage. Thank you, Ruby, for a great story. Mama's Amazing Cover Cloth is her first children's book and was also published by Sub-Saharan publishers. I was delighted to learn that this book has been doing so well, and especially in Ghana, where it is set in Accra, Ghana. Let's hear from Ruby why she also thinks that this book did so well in Ghana.
Hi, this is Ruby Goka from Ghana. I hope everyone is safe and well. It's a pity we couldn't meet last year to have this event. But I think everyone will agree that it's better that we are all safe and sorry. And also thank the Children's Africana Book Awards for putting together this virtual event. I hope everyone is enjoying it and having a good time. And to thank the World University Center for African Studies, and to thank Africa Access, and to thank my publishers, Sub-Saharan publishers. But I especially want to thank Mr. Edmond Opari. He did an amazing job in creating those images. Usually when we go to schools and the teachers would have spoken to the kids about the book beforehand. So usually the kids would come with their cover cloth, and they are really excited when the pattern of the cover cloth they have matches what is in the book. So there's always that heightened level of excitement, and then they'll come up to me and say, this is how I use mine, this is how I use to tie my hair, this is how I use it to put my baby at my back or my doll at my back, this is how I use it when I'm doing cultural dancing and drumming. So I think most of the book's message comes across better because of Mr. Edmond Opari's illustrations. So thank you so much, Mr. Opari, for bringing the book to life. The book has been very well received in Ghana. Children like enacting the scenarios and everything. There's always that excitement when we go to schools. But then it's and I think it's mostly because they see, maybe for some of them for the very first time, a black child or someone who looks very much like them, who has something they have, or who does similar things that they do, with plucking mangoes from trees and with racing with their cover cloth. Those are things that they experience every day. For them to see that captured in a book, I think that adds to their excitement and lets them know that their stories are valid as well. And I think for children of non-African races, I had some parents send me pictures with their kids with a shawl or a blanket and then doing similar things. So this is what books do. They build empathy, they build confidence, and I'm glad that my book is doing that. So thank you, Children's Africana Book Awards, for recognizing this in my book and for honoring it with this award. Hopefully, in the not too distant future, I hope we can all meet in person when COVID passes. But then, till then, everyone be safe, take care of yourself, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Bye from Ghana.
Oh, and goodbye to you, and thank you. And so, right next door to Ghana, we are moving on, and we have landed in Nigeria. And what a powerful story about friendship we will encounter.
Friendship is something very special to me. Have I ever told you about my close friend?
No. Tell me about your close friend, Salaam.
Well, she's a friend of mine that I've had for a very long time. She's much older than me, and she takes care of me like I'm a little sister. I have many friends like this, and we're all kind of like one big family. And I think that this story really reminds me of my relationship with that close friend.
Oh, that is so deep, and that's beautiful. And you know what? I'm pretty sure she feels the same way about you. And that's what all comes to my mind too when I think about War Girls, written by Tochi Onyebuchi, a first-generation Nigerian American. War Girls is a young adult novel published by Razorbill Penguin Random House. In War Girls, get this, the year is 2172. Earth has been rendered practically unlivable by climate change and nuclear disasters. The lucky ones have escaped to space colonies. those left on Earth struggle for resources. When a renewed civil war erupts between Nigeria and Biafra, orphan girls are caught in the crossfire. So this novel follows the journey of two sisters, bound not by blood, but by friendship. Tochi Onyebuchi was born in Massachusetts and raised in Connecticut. I really want to know how Tochi was motivated to write this book. Let's hear from Tochi.
Hi, my name is Tochi Onyebuchi, author of War Girls, and to Africa Access, the Outreach Council of the African Studies Association, and the CABA Awards Committee, thank you from the bottom of my heart for selecting War Girls as a 2020 honor book for older readers. I first decided to write this book in part because of a story that my mother told me. We'd been writing around Christmas time several years back from a family friend, from visiting a family friend. And my mother, in an offhand comment, had mentioned during civil war back in Nigeria, having to hide with her family in the forest as they were being chased by soldiers. And to me, at the time, this was the very first time that I had heard my mother mention having lived through this incredibly horrific thing that as a political science student in college, I had studied in textbooks, I had read about, but all of a sudden this thing became immensely personal to me. And it became imperative that I dig into the history of the Biafran War, that I learn more about it, and not just from 30,000 feet in the air, but from on the ground testimonials. And the deeper I went into this story, the more it pained me how little this story had been talked about, how much it had been repressed even. And one of the reasons I wrote War Girls was to honor my mother and to honor what she had gone through and to honor what so many others had gone through during this period in Nigeria's tumultuous history. It was also an opportunity for me to put very strong Black girls in giant robots. I've grown up surrounded by incredibly powerful women, incredibly complex, complicated women. And to see them in this story brings me incredible joy. And to have this story recognized by you all is an incredible honor, an honor of the highest order. So thank you immensely for bestowing upon me and War Girls this incredible honor. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Tochi. And so now our next red carpet moment is Miss Vivian Yenika Agbao. She tells us of her experience on the committee about her role as a children's literature specialist.
My name is Dr. Vivian Yenika Agbao, professor of literature and literacies at the Pennsylvania State University, University Park. It has been both pleasurable and fulfilling for me to serve on the CABA committee as a children's literature expert over the past couple of years. Part of the reason for this is because in this capacity, I've been privileged to contribute in reading and identify high-quality books about Africa and the African diaspora from the list submitted by publishers to help expand our understanding of the cultural nuances that inform the literature. As someone who believes in inclusive discourse, this familiarity with a wide variety of texts has also exposed me to the different images of Africa, the culture, and children that are being constructed, underscoring the cultural complexities of a continent which many people sometimes view as homogeneous. I'm able to see a certain degree of growth in the overall quality of constructions from images that often depicted Africa as backwards to recent books like Efweku's Ray Bearer, Nana Akosua Goes to School, Idea, etc., that construct images that show the complexities of what it means to be African in the continent and or in the diaspora. I believe this is a worthwhile experience, serving on the CABA committee and contributing in this way, for even today in the year 2021, there are some people who still perceive Africa as one big country. Many still do not comprehend that it is a diverse continent of more than 50 countries, steeped in cultural practices and histories that predate what we are taught about other Western countries in schools. I am so glad to be part of the CABA team and wish to thank Brenda Randolph for bringing me into the fold and for creating a platform for this important conversation about Africa, her children, their literature and cultures. In this way, we are able to see how children of African descent are interconnected through their cultural histories and contemporary experience. So congratulations to all the CABA winners. And for you, aspiring writers out there, I look forward to reading your published work someday. Good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Vivian Akbal. And before you go, can you tell us where we're going to next?
Come on, let's go to the diaspora and see the impact of Africa across the world.
I'm trying to give you a hint to the book, for the next book.
So Black Lives, we don't have a Black Lives Matter book.
No.
Oh, wait a minute. Give me a second. I think I know where we're going with this. It's a Tristan book, right? Tristan Strong punches a hole in the sky. Was that it? Okay, got it. That makes sense. After all, we are now in the larger African diaspora spanning all regions in Africa and the Caribbean and everywhere. And sure enough, with our New York Times bestselling author, Kwame Mbalia, he is the author of Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky, published by Disney Hyperion. And this action-packed fantasy is embedded with characters from African American and West African mythology. 7th grader Tristan Strong encounters Gum Baby, John Henry, Anansi the Spider, and more characters as he tries to escape hunted bone chips and iron monsters. Can he entice his new allies into helping him seal a hole in the sky and save humanity? I am so proud to present a fellow Howard University Bryson graduate. Ain't you? You know? I could not resist. Yes, Kwame Mbalia is presented with the 2020 Best Book Award. He was raised in the Midwest, but has deep roots in Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. He credits his parents with his knowledge of Africa and the diaspora. It is so great how our childhood tends to be a springboard for the stories we wish to tell as adults. Right, Kwame?
Hi, my name is Kwame Mbalia, and I am the author of the Tristan Strong series. Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky, and Tristan Strong Destroys the World. And I am humbled beyond belief to accept the 2020 Children's Africana Book Award on behalf of Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky. Thank you to the awards committee, the Children's Africana Book Awards Committee. Thank you to Africa Access, and thank you to the Outreach Council of the African Studies Association. And also thank you to all the readers out there who made this possible. I wrote the book, but you bought it, you supported it, and I am eternally grateful for that. I've always wanted to tell the stories that I grew up listening to, the folk tales, the Anansi, the John Henrys, the Flying People. I've always wanted to tell those stories and bring them forward to a new generation. And I've done so. And because of you, that book continues to grow, continues to spread, continue
to be enjoyed and read around the world. So thank you so much for this award, for this honor. I am eternally grateful, and I cannot wait to see who wins next year.
So great. And thank you as well. You having a good time so far, Salaam?
I really am. This is so fun.
Cool. Great. So let's see. What's next for us now? What you got over there?
Cashews.
Cashews. First it was chocolates. Now it's cashews. And what are you singing? What are you humming?
Songs in the shade of the cashews and coconut trees.
Right. That's right. I know that book. And the second part of that title is Lullabies and Nursery Rhymes from West Africa and the Caribbean, a collaborative work published by The Secret Mountain. This is a musical picture book, which includes 23 songs collected by Nathalie Susama with musical arrangements by Jean-Christophe Waro and illustrations by Judith Gayfier. A wide array of styles are found here, including nursery rhymes from Gabon, lullabies from Cape Verde, rumbas from Congo, work songs from Jamaica, and many more, all exquisitely performed in more than a dozen languages by musicians and singers that include men, women, and children. Amazing. Accepting an Honor Book Award for young children is Nathalie Susama. Let's hear from the winners.
I'm Nathalie Susana, and I'm very honored to receive this recognition from the CABA Awards Committee, Africa Access, and the Outreach Council of the African Studies Association. Songs in the Shade of the Cashew and Coconut Trees explore the connection between West Africa and the Caribbean through song, the obvious link, of course, being slavery. One of the central ideas that guided this project comes from Christiane Taubira, a well-known French politician who grew up in French Guiana. She tells us, in a story of violence and beauty, may it be that beauty prevails. It's my hope that violence can be transcended by art in general and music in particular. This collection was the result of the generous collaboration of many performers, singers, and musicians without whom the book would not exist. I've asked one of them, my dear Teofilo Chantre, to share a message.
Hello, I am Teofilo Chantre from Cabo Verde. I had the pleasure of participating in the book Songs in the Shade of the Cashew and Coconut Tree. I am very happy for your recognition, and I would like to thank the CABA Awards Committee, Africa Access, and the Outreach Council of African Studies Association. Obrigado a todos. Grande abraço.
Alongside renowned artists such as Teofilo and Hamele Dembele, the album celebrates the voices of artists who are not well known outside their countries, such as Sido from Guinea-Bissau and Dayeline Alvarez, who I connected with through a Cuban association where she gives dance lessons. I've invited her to say a word.
Hello, I'm Dayeline Alvarez, singer of the Cuban song. I'm very happy for this honor prize. Thank you to the CABA Academy. Congratulations to all the team of this project. I was pleased to be part of it. Hope to see you soon. Thank you.
I would also like to thank Jean-Christophe Waro, my friend and longtime collaborator, who in addition to musical direction also performs on the album. I'd also like to express my thanks to my friend Roland Stringer and his entire team from The Secret Mountain. Thanks to illustrateur Judith Gayfier and of course Michel Moreau, director of Editions Didier Jeunesse, who trust me for more than 15 years, as well as our entire team that is always dynamic and enthusiastic. On behalf of everyone who took part in Songs in the Shade of Cashew and Coconut Trees, thank you.
And thank you, Nathalie. Oh, wow. Super talented. Okay, what do we have next?
Mama Stella-Monica, this award show isn't just for kids, right? Right.
Right.
Right. I mean, some of us who are getting older could appreciate the new adulthood.
You are a slick one. I knew where you were going with this. Okay. In 2017, the CABA committee did establish the New Adult Award, which honors a book published for adults that is suitable for mature teens. Mature teens, Salaam. You're close, but you're not there yet.
Fine. But who won?
Okay, I'll tell you who won. The 2020 winner is Gold of Our Fathers by Kwei Quartey, published by Soho Press. Check this out. Gold looms large in Ghana's past and present. In this intriguing mystery, Detective Darko Dawson investigates a case about a Chinese businessman found entombed in a gold quarry in the Ashanti region. Dawson quickly learns how dangerous it is to pursue justice in this kingdom of illegal gold mines. Based in Pasadena, California, Kwei Jones Quartey, medical doctor, is a writer of African crime fiction. The son of a Black American mother and a Ghanaian father, Dr. Quartey grew up in both Ghana and the United States. And he feels that African mysteries, sometimes called African noir or sunshine noir, deserve a seat at the table of international thrillers and mysteries. I could not agree more. And we are proud to honor Dr. Quartey with the 2020 New Adult Award. Let us hear from Dr. Quartey about the African noir genre. And also, Dr. Quartey, what is your call to young authors?
Hello, I'm Kwei Quartey. It was wonderful news when I learned that my novel, Gold of Our Fathers, had won the 2020 Children's Africana Book Award in the category of New Adult. And for that, I really want to thank the CABA Awards Committee, Africa Access, and the Outreach Council of the African Studies Association for recognizing my work. Initially, at the time that I heard the news, I was a little surprised because I thought my book was essentially containing a lot of adult themes. But on thinking about it, I realized that a mature teen can indeed grasp and understand some of the issues presented in this novel, which includes the clash and conflict of cultures with illegal gold mining in Ghana as a backdrop. It's very much of a story of a contest of greed, the desire to be rich at the cost of other people or the environment, for example. And the Apostle Timothy said that the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. And I think this is a lesson that one can take to heart from this novel, that you should work hard and reap the rewards, but be careful about greed raising its ugly head, especially if that greed is yours. You know, ambition is one thing, greed is quite another. Now, crime fiction is a profound study of what motivates us on our dark sides or in our dark sides. And because of that, it's one of the most profound studies of the human condition. And this is why I say to young Africans, write fiction. And I urge you especially to write crime fiction, because it's a very deep study of our natures and of society. Now, West African crime fiction, there simply is not enough of it. I would like to see a lot more crime fiction coming out of West Africa. The thing about West Africa is that it has one foot in modernity and one foot also in spiritualism and mysticism, much more so than is the case for Western crime fiction. And this is something that I've termed African noir. That is the presence of the occult or the metaphysical or juju, however you want to call it, within the structure of a crime story that affects not only the solving of the mystery, but also presents different possibilities as to who might have committed this crime and why. So I urge you to write. You know, it's never too late to start, and it's never too early either. Now, for young African Americans, I would say, don't limit yourself to the narrative of our slave past, whether that be in the Americas or on the African continent, particularly West Africa. Not that it's wrong to write about those things, because after all, America is a product of what the past has been. But that there are other themes to write about. And this is one of the reasons I write crime fiction, because, you know, on the map, the world map of crime fiction, I see no reason why West Africa shouldn't be on that map as well. And murder is an equal opportunity crime. And there's no reason why on that map we shouldn't have West Africa. Now, West Africa has one foot in modernity and one foot in mysticism or the paranormal or juju. And that's what makes African crime fiction, what I like to call African noir, very unique. You can write about those things and how they contribute to murder or a crime, and whether, in fact, those occurrences are real or a red herring. In some cases, somebody could have planted, you know, the aspect of juju in a murder context to confuse the investigators. So write early, write late, but whatever you do, write. And with that, once again, I'd like to thank CABA for this honor and this opportunity to give you a short address. Thank you.
And now we have reached the end of the awards ceremony. We hope you are inspired to engage with these wonderful books. And you can learn about our new 2021 CABA winners at cababooks.org. We also invite you to explore the many additional recommended titles through the Read Africa program on the africaaccessreview.org website. So with that said, goodbye.
Wait, it's time to say goodbye?
Yeah, it's time to say goodbye, Salaam.
We're done already?
Yes, we are done.
Are you sure?
I am sure, Salaam. We are done.
Completely sure?
I'm very completely sure. All right, lady. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye.
Kwaheri.
Oh, we're doing this in different languages now. Okay, all right. I hear you. Well, in that case, Anichi.
Hambani Kashle.
Horitu. Yendo Akjam.
Bye-bye.
Bye.